Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. This is my very first review, and it's going to be on Spider Man Homecoming. And this is going to be a non spoiler review, so don't worry, I'm not going to give away any plot details, anything that's going to spoil the movie for you guys in case you haven't seen it. I just wanted to go over my thoughts quickly on the movie itself. First, I want to talk about the Marvel and Sony mashup the studios decided to do. When it was first announced, they said they were going to come together and basically have Spider Man join the Marvel Universe so that he could be part of the Avengers and do his own standalone movies in Marvel. And when I first heard about this, first of all, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan. I've liked his movies, but I've never really loved Spider-Man. He just wasn't my favorite superhero. He never was. And I'm a fan of the Tobey Maguire movies. Andrew Garfield had its moments too, but I don't have a real big love for them. So when they announced this, I was hoping that they were going to do an older Spider Man this time. They weren't going to go back to his young origin, high school days. I was kind of tired of it. But obviously, they decided to go back to his high school days again and make him even younger than the others that have been cast before him. But whatever, they're going to do what they're going to do. So when I first saw Tom Holland in Civil War, that changed for me. I was like, oh, they might have something here. This kid seems to be really good. Now, he was only on screen for, I think, less than 10 minutes in Civil War, but he definitely left an impression. So, when I saw the trailer for Spider Man Homecoming, it intrigued me. It definitely looked like Sony had the right idea. Like I said, I want an older Spider Man, but obviously not going to go to older Spider Man. So, but they did seem to grasp how Spider Man really was in the comics. From the trailer alone, from what I saw, the little bit that I saw. But another fear was that I just hoped they weren't gonna go back to the origin story because we've seen the whole Uncle Ben uh, thing 2 times already, so I didn't want to go back to that. Then I saw more trailers on it, and that concerned me because it looked like Iron Man was gonna play a very heavy part in this movie, and it looked like it was gonna be an Iron Man movie with Spider Man kind of just popping up here and there. So that was weird, and that started to concern me. So as the movie started to approach, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna see it. So let's see what Marvel has done. Marvel has a great track record. They've put out so many good movies. So I was hoping that they do the character justice, and that Sony wasn't going to interfere too much because obviously, Sony with the last Amazing Spider-Man movies, they didn't do so well. So I saw the movie this past weekend, and yeah, it was a great movie. I was pleasantly surprised. Um, I'm not sure where it ranks as far as a Spider-Man movie goes quite yet. They're better than the Tom Holland than I'm sorry than the Andrew Garfield movies, the Amazing Spider-Man movies. They are better. It's definitely better than those two. But let's talk about Tom Holland for a second. Tom Holland, when they cast him, man, he looked like a baby. I was like, Jesus. I mean, they were casting to be around 15 years old for Spider Man to be 15 years old, but he looked even younger than that. I was like, how's this gonna work? I don't know, but the kid did great, great. He definitely was the best Spider Man to date, for sure. Nothing against Tobey Maguire. and Andrew Garfield, but he really had the best blend of both of them. I always thought that Tobey Maguire was a very good Peter Parker, but was a lousy Spider-Man. And I thought Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man, but a lousy Peter Parker. And this kid really blended the both and took off with it. He was great. I could really see them doing sequels with this kid growing as a Spider-Man, and it worked. It really did. The cast along him, his high school friends were really good too. The whole cast was very racially diverse, which was really good. It really felt like a high school. You didn't buy. In the old Spider-Man movies, these kids, these kids almost mid-20s, early 30s, going to high school, and you're like, yeah, this doesn't like high school. But this movie really nailed it. It really had the high school feel to it. It almost felt like an old John Hughes movie at certain points, and they did good, really good, and it was really funny. Probably the funniest Spider-Man for sure, but I think probably one of the funniest movies of the year. I mean, I laughed so hard and so many points in this movie. It was really, really funny. Michael Keaton as the villain, Vulture. Outstanding. Finally, we have a good Marvel villain in the Marvel universe, because we didn't really have many. We had, Loki was really good. The rest of them, honestly, I can't even remember. They didn't really flesh him out. They really did really good. They did really good in Michael Keaton's Vulture. I don't want to give away too much, but they fleshed out his character enough where you understand why he's bad and why he's doing certain things. As far as Iron Man, he did not distract from the movie at all. Which, like I said before, I was very worried about that, but he did. His role in the movie was actually very necessary, and he used him very, very smart, and they didn't overuse him, which is good. This was a Spider-Man movie. Iron Man, yeah, was in it here and there, but not. He didn't take away from the movie. His parts were actually very necessary, so that was good. Marissa Tomei as as Aunt May, she did good. She wasn't in the movie that much, but definitely a step up from the previous Aunt May's. So yeah, she was really good, and that's pretty much it. As a whole, the movie was really good. I was very entertained. If I had to rank it, I definitely put it probably as the second best Spider-Man movie. I still have I still hold the first one for me as probably the best, only because you know that was the first time Spider-Man ever came out back in 2002. It was the first Spider-Man movie, the first time we actually saw him on screen, and that'll always hold a special place for me. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan, but I remember going to the movies and seeing Spider-Man for the first time, and that was actually really fun. I think that's always going to probably be my favorite, but this one will definitely holds up there and probably is my second favorite of the series, and it's only going to get better for sure. And then they really nailed the character this time on Spider-Man. So I feel it's definitely a good start, and I can't wait to see him in Avengers Infinity Wars next year. See what his part's going to be. So that's pretty much it. I just want to do a quick review. I'm going to be doing more movies and TV shows and even games from time to time. If you like what you see here, subscribe, and I will be back.